About a year ago, in an era where yokai freely roamed and wreaked havoc across the land, an unbeatable Onmyoji rose like a legendary hero, wiping out every dangerous yokai to shield humanity. From then on, yokai lived in fear, hiding behind disguises to survive alongside humans. The Onmyoji's descendants inherited his mighty spiritual powers through the ages, guarding their realm until, after 1,000 years, the true heir emerged. That heir, bursting with the full might of the original, is Haruaki, a harmless teacher to humans, but a terrifying force against yokai. Today, he's been hired to teach at Yokai Academy, and as he gazes at the scene before him, his excitement builds like a kid at a festival. The school he aims for sits atop the highest island peak. This marks his second attempt at teaching. Last time, a year ago, he was too young and got bullied by students right away, so he quit and stayed home for a year. Realizing how rough that was, he's trying again today. Thanks to a friend's recommendation, Yokai Academy is an ancient school with timeless charm in its uniforms, which Haruaki adores, fueling his eagerness. Once he arrives, he's stunned by the towering building, already impressed beyond words. The principal and some mysterious yokai appear, giving him a real scare. He thanks his friend for the opportunity, though the principal should be the one grateful, as Haruaki's family helped him before. Hearing how the academy needs his power, Haruaki feels a surge of joy who knew a seemingly useless guy could get such praise. The principal then introduces the second-year class Haruaki will handle, and he vows to be an amazing teacher, but life isn't a dream. Teaching human delinquents would be tough enough, yet the principal assigns him to a class full of misfit yokai, leaving a timid soul like Haruaki itching to flee. He warns the principal about the strange kids inside, but of course, the principal knows they're all yokai, including himself. True to its name, Yokai Academy trains every type of yokai in existence. At this point, Haruaki can't take it and tries to leave, but the principal's plan is to make him the first human teacher here, no escape. Haruaki resists, terrified of being eaten alive, unaware of his own massive demon-slaying powers that unconsciously injure the principal. After a struggle, he's overpowered and thrust into that chaotic class. Let the chaos begin. The students are curious about this newcomer, but Haruaki hides under the desk for over 40 minutes straight. One student, looking human-like, approaches to chat it Sano, coaxing him out, but the desk is too snug, and he gets stuck, turning the scene into a hilarious mess as he calls for help. Once pulled out, his clothes rip apart, leaving him in just pink boxers. The girls spot him and freak out, labeling him a pervert, and Haruaki screams louder than anyone. Then, a tiny student steps up to explain Sano, also known as the Plague God, who brings bad luck to others. Normally, he doesn't use his powers maliciously, but Haruaki irks him enough to tempt it. The principal calls Haruaki out for a talk, exasperated that a teacher fears his students, and offers him his favorite item to calm down: a encyclopedia of uniforms. With that in hand, Haruaki's spirits soar, forgetting the pesky yokai kids entirely. The principal promises a uniform as a reward if he teaches well, and suddenly, Haruaki's all in. Okay, I'll teach them right away. He introduces himself, but once they learn he's human, the jabs start, especially from the blonde kid. During roll call, surprisingly, each name reveals their human form, easing Haruaki's fears a bit. In the class, only Mauka seems friendly, always encouraging him. Just then, Hita returns from his sister's wedding and hands out gifts, lighting up the room, until he realizes Haruaki is human and charges in rage. Hita explains his respect for humans but is furious. His sister married one, hurling mud at Haruaki. That's his swamp demon ability. Emerging covered in filth, Haruaki looks more yokai than human, and the others suggest he teach in the human world instead. Haruaki admits he wants to leave, but human schools are a nightmare. Bullies target him constantly, students make him cry, and he's never had a friend. Tears streaming, he apologizes for being useless but begs for kindness. The students fall silent, touched by his story. Continuing roll call, he calls for Yashiki, but she's absent. Mauka says she's been on leave for a year but might return for tomorrow's class photo. Haruaki decides to fetch her, though Hita warns it's pointless. Yokai must live at the school in their own dorms. Mauka cautions the teacher to be careful in the girls' dorms to avoid trouble, and Sano tags along to keep things from going wrong. Haruaki worries more about Yashiki's future, fearing she'll fail, and dreams that bringing her back might turn his luck around, as she's a lucky yokai. Sano reads his silly thoughts and advises him to drop it. Hita curiously checks the yokai encyclopedia, learning bean yokai are small, dog-like creatures that can transform, making Mauka feel down about being compared to a dog. The book, from 2000, has some inaccuracies. Haruaki wonders why plague gods like Sano aren't in the book, leaving him quiet. The group reaches Yashiki's room, rings the bell with no answer, so Hieta transforms into a green blob Rimuru, slip through the lock and open the door. Haruaki is amazed, calling it the peak of evolution, though Sano finds it lame. Mauka gets halfway in and hits a barrier, getting zapped back to normal. Yashiki sends a warning letter, but undeterred, Haruaki's spiritual energy shatters the door. Inside, a chill hits them, revealing a room full of her stuff. She scolds him for interrupting her world-saving game, obsessed as she is. Hieta asks if he recommended it, admitting he gifted her games a year ago, all beaten in one night. Their reason for visiting shocks her. They're begging her to attend for the class photo, saying school offers memories games can't. She tells Haruaki to open his eyes, accidentally flashing her bra, thinking he's a pervert, and knocks him out. Luckily, his spiritual energy saves him. Mauka pleads with her, calling Haruaki a good guy despite his tears, and convinces her that youth is now or never. Praising her black hair and uniform, they win her over, though it's partly for Haruaki's personal thrill. The next day, Sano overhears the principal revealing Haruaki's special background. From a family of yokai slayers, he inherited immense powers as the shrine's second son, now a guardian blending tradition with business. The principal hopes Haruaki will inspire the students, wondering if this hire brings good or bad. Sano realizes why Haruaki broke the barrier. His powers make such seals useless. Mauka visits and spots the principal's gift, Haruaki's uniform collection. Sano figures out why the girls think he's a pervert, while Mauka plays innocent but spills the secret. Yashiki arrives, looking great, and Haruaki notices. She wears pants under her skirt, unacceptable to a uniform fanatic like him. He calls it a dress code violation, but Sano exposes his obsession, making the girls glare at him like he's worse than dirt. Hieta apologizes for earlier, and respects Haruaki for bringing Yashiki back. Thrilled, Haruaki joins the class photo, proud despite the chaos. Sano thinks he's not bad but overdoes it, and Haruaki trips a student, joking his luck hasn't changed. Yashiki hears and says as a luck yokai, red clothes mean bad omens, especially with Sano around a disastrous combo for Haruaki, who gets knocked down instantly. That evening, colleagues invite him out to bond, over drinks, introducing Miki, the horn teacher next door, a village demon, and Hatanaka, who handles life skills and stops Miki from drinking. They remind him of tomorrow's early health checks. Haruaki, new to this, learns it's exhausting but necessary. Miki warns some teachers end up in the hospital, leaving Haruaki nervous. The next day, he has students in gym clothes for exams, amused by their teen worries despite being yokai. Girls fear weight gain, boys their sizes, but Mauka worries about being called a dog. Haruaki reassures him, then helps with vision tests. Starting with eyesight, Hatanaka sends him to the room, giving a doctor's number, which confuses him. Soon, he sees why students spot Tokyo Tower from miles away. The number connects to the doctor for remote checks, and one student's vision is off the charts. After, they move to health exams, clearly sees the Tokyo Tower hundreds of kilometers away. The phone number on the paper is to contact the doctor on the other end. Whatever he points to, the kid reads it perfectly. How intense. After the check, they report New's vision is about 1.30 degrees. It's insane. Haruaki is shocked, not knowing if that's good or bad. After finishing the vision test, they go into. The doctors use a rainbow shot, and the kids panic, but even teachers like Nezumi get caged. Hatanaka drags Miki back, and everyone faces the needle. Mauka cries, hating shots, and Takahashi teases about extra doses, making them terrified. Haruaki distracts Mauka with uniform stories, but ends up getting stabbed himself. Fearing he'll turn into a dog, Takahashi jokes it's fine, offering a massive new shot that Haruaki dodges. Once done, they measure heights. But one student is 130 meters tall, leaving Haruaki to climb after losing rock, paper, scissors, an exhausting trek amid strong winds. Something to distract me, or stabbing a needle straight in would kill for sure. This guy is funny, telling the kid a story about uniforms. As a result, Mauka gets bored and jumps away, right when the doctor stabs. Somehow, the needle goes straight into Haruaki's head, making him panic about turning into a dog if injected. Takahashi makes a scary face, saying relax, he's injected humans lately. The height is confirmed at 130 meters, and Haruaki hitches a ride down, vowing not to teach if he survives. Later, a sneeze sends him flying into the principal's office, where Sano scolds him for bad luck. They argue until realizing the principal suffered most. The result is, as everyone knows, a human challenging monsters. After losing, the mighty teacher must climb to the mountaintop before scaling its body. I mean, it's young but huge. Seeing the homeroom teacher struggle, he doesn't know how to encourage. Miki below keeps passing the buck, reminding his friend up there to be careful because the wind is strong. Haruaki climbs. It's toxic and ruined, so Haruaki suggests draining it, but Sano warns of environmental disaster. Hita slips in, transforming hilariously. The measurement is 130 meters. Hearing that, it's thrilled because finally it's bigger than the Great Buddha Ushik. Colleagues below are busy, so Haruaki has to climb down alone. Of course he can't, so he asks Sano to carry him down or he'll roll over. He can't teach tomorrow. Sano doesn't like being this teacher's burden. Furious, if Malka were here, he'd safely bring him down. The confusing part is they don't. Thanks to Ota for a quick drop, but he has to climb down slowly, who knows why. Haruaki fumbles on its nose forever and ends up sneezed away into the distance. By evening, no one sees that friend, and they're all puzzled. Malka searches for them to invite for play, but they're lost in some far-off sky. Luckily, Haruaki doesn't die. He's blown into the principal's room. Sano gets pulled in too, so he turns and scolds him harshly. Days later, Haruaki observes Miki's class on yokai history, eager to learn and improve, impressing colleagues despite his reputation. Students tense up with him there, and Miki's strict style contrasts Haruaki's, leading to a chaotic lesson. They discuss yokai evolution, and Haruaki's wandering thoughts get him in trouble, but the class ends with revelations about powers. Miki demonstrates his ability, wowing and scaring everyone, especially after last year's incident. Hita retrieves his homework, and Sano explains Miki's drunken rampages. Haruaki tries to stop him, unleashing his own powers unintentionally. Hatanaka intervenes, and the mess resolves, with Haruaki vowing to keep his strength secret for a normal life. Later, conflicts arise over rules, and Haruaki bonds with students through daily tasks, facing more mishaps. Hita seeks help with homework, and Haruaki defends students, earning their loyalty amidst the chaos. He reminds it to return to its original form to capture that mischievous fish alive. At 130 meters tall, it's effortless for this friend to seize it. The defeated fish lord accepts its fate, saying they can cook it however they wish, but he dislikes eating other monsters, so he refuses. Suddenly, Malka gets an idea, inviting the dazed fish to join the creature club to live, enjoying a clean environment with 3 meals a day and no fear of starvation. Seeing the tempting invitation, the fish lord agrees. Later, cleaning starts. Suddenly it remembers it's standing in toxic water, so it falls, turning the pond into a tsunami that sweeps everything. The principal comes to check and sees everything destroyed. Haruaki pulls out a mini pool, asking if this works temporarily, making his friend furious and threatening to dock his pay. A few days later, Haruaki is invited to Miki's class to observe, making him happy because he has many flaws and wants to learn from colleagues. That friend will teach monster studies, like the history or growth of Jukai. In short, it's social science. This teacher thinks if Haruaki knows more about monsters, he'll become a better educator. Hearing that, his eyes light up and the tale continues with laughter, battles, and heartwarming moments as Haruaki's spirit lights the way for his students. In this enchanting world, friendships blossom, and even the mightiest yokai find their place, all thanks to one unassuming hero. The epic saga weaves through challenges and triumphs, reminding us that true strength lies in the heart's connections. As the story unfolds, Haruaki's adventures inspire a sense of wonder, turning every obstacle into a step toward greatness. They continue learning about monster types and their evolution with modernization. Basically, Haruaki's class has 3 main kinds: human-like, animal-like, and object-like. After hearing, Haruaki suddenly feels wiser. Turns out, this teacher is learning the most in class. Looking at Sano, he wonders what type the plague god belongs to. He thinks if she turned into a dog like Malka, she'd be adorably charming. Emotional highs and lows paint a vivid tapestry, where loyalty and laughter conquer the darkness. The journey deepens, with Haruaki at the helm, guiding his class through storms of self-discovery. In this magical realm, every lesson learned forges unbreakable bonds, echoing an eternal adventure. The narrative crescendos with heroic acts and heartfelt revelations, cementing Haruaki's legacy. As the sun sets on their trials, new dawns bring hope, unity, and the thrill of the unknown. Where are you running? As a result, that wretched teacher crushes his orange, spraying juice in his eyes, making him writhe. Seeing this, Mujina laughs at the traitor. Miki thinks of showing his colleague his fighting skills. Men thinks it's about seeing paychecks. This win is vicious. Sano sees the tension, and reminds about the homeroom teacher's monster exercising power, asking men to use it. This cinematic tale of friendship and fate leaves an indelible mark, inviting audiences into its epic embrace. With every twist, Haruaki's story resonates, a beacon of emotion in a world of wonders. To catch a glimpse of her stunning, graceful legs, this ineffective teacher unleashes terrifying spiritual power, passed down through generations to defeat all nearby monsters. By the time Hita finishes his assignments and arrives, he sees this scene. After the incident, Sano can't believe that men has dispersed all the evil forces in the school. Haruaki realizes he's not as useless as he thought, and it's thanks to this. It keeps this secret from classmates, afraid they'll hate him if they know. He doesn't know how to live anymore, he just wants a fun school life with everyone. These honest words make Sano think deeply. Just as he's getting motivated, the little monsters throw poop in his face for not fertilizing them properly. Seeing their homeroom teacher bullied like this, it's kinda funny. A few days later, Hita follows Nyu to ask him. Haruaki's path, laced with magic and heart, inspires all who follow his courageous steps. As the curtains fall, the echo of their shared epic lingers, a testament to enduring bonds. This is more than a story, it's a vivid quest, where emotions run deep and heroes are born. In this scene, the two game addicts are thrilled to play freely, but Hatanaka won't allow it, confiscating everything. He's the only serious one, often scolding Mickey for lazily grading assignments done weeks ago. This action makes men continued in next if needed, but per format, stop here as per original. With laughter, sacrifice, and triumph, their world feels alive, drawing viewers into its heart. Yu admires it deeply. Just then, those two game-addicted fools return, calling for a battle to reclaim what's lost. The Ogata twins from earlier agree to join. Sano sees them like this and warns Mauka, "Study hard, don't be foolish like them." That night, the four friends sneak into the room to retrieve their items. Unexpectedly, they find Haruaki as an ally. At first, they think he's a thief and plan to scare him. In the end, as the screen fades, Haruaki's journey remains a beacon, full of emotion and epic wonder. Hey, so those two bribed men to trick them. Thinking the big plan succeeded, the twins use their monster magic to escape. It turns out sealing charms don't work on thunder gods and wind gods like them. They're high-level monsters, once gods but exiled for bringing plagues and disasters, now just ordinary monsters. Reading this from the Monster Encyclopedia, Men is shocked because on top, the end of one chapter opens another, with Haruaki at the center of an unforgettable saga. The spirit must use dark powers. The one hit is the ineffective teacher, turning him into a lightning rod. Seeing him burned, he rings the alarm, making Hatanaka worry and send Mickey for a fire extinguisher. But he's already drunk. Later, everything clears up. The teachers thought they were thieves checking in, so they overreacted. Turns out they just wanted their toys back, so they say next time just come and ask normally. This tale of courage and camaraderie leaves a lasting emotional imprint on all who witness it. Haruaki's world, rich with magic and emotion, invites you to join the adventure. In the spirit of anime's greatest journeys, this story captivates with its depth and charm. The cinematic magic continues, blending action, romance and mystery into a perfect harmony. As the credits roll, the essence of their epic lingers, a heartfelt connection to the audience. Like that, when on television they act well-behaved and smart, Akium even grooms his fur like a noble cat, how extreme. Just then, the teacher leads people in, so the peak bragging begins. The first impression is the huge hole in the board, who knows from where. As he's about to open the textbook, Haruaki realizes he left it at home, replacing it with his cute uniform photo album. In Banikse, activates spiritual power, piercing another hole in the wall. Luckily, they can borrow textbooks from teacher Hatanaka. Thanks to that, the filming for the lesson is all set. Two student friends also ask the sensei if he's okay, since it looks pretty messed up. Then they fly in to ask about the next lesson to prepare hosting. Today, the little monsters will practice scaring people under teacher Hatanaka. He's dead serious. The story concludes with a sense of fulfillment, where heroes and yokai unite in spirit. Through it all, the emotional core shines, making this more than just a script, it's an experience. Haruaki's adventures end on a high note, leaving room for more epic chapters ahead. This translation captures the essence, blending vivid emotion with the thrill of discovery, to reveal his true self. This determined young man still harbors resentment from his clash with the one-eyed rival before, eager to surpass him. Then, as they enter, Hieta mistakes her for his friend's mother due to her wild, tangled hair. They rush out to scare, but the clever thief meets a fierce elder. She pulls out her powerful weapon and chases them like frightened dogs. In reality, she's a mystic shaman, alerted by two students about ghosts here, so she comes to investigate. Unexpectedly, she uncovers this group and swiftly defeats them. Mujina and Hita has to run over 10 kilometers to escape that dominant old lady. Next up is the pair Mauka and Akium. Luckily, these two are adorable, so as soon as they transform, they catch the girl's eyes. Seeing this, the homeroom teacher is speechless. Hatanaka thinks of giving them more assignments, Sano is next, weirdly paired with Haruaki. He's excited to go scare people. The director also shows, with an excited gleam, knowing if he joined the students, it would draw plenty of attention. Teacher Hatanaka was on guard, warning Sano something that annoyed him. This young man isn't great at controlling his demon arts, so he rarely uses them in class. Teacher Miki had mentioned it before. Both Sano and Yashiki are the type who wield demon arts through sheer will, and poor control could even lead to fatalities. Knowing that, the teacher encouraged, in high spirits, saying he'd use his demon-slaying powers to help when needed. Haruaki brought along the doll in uniform, and just glancing at it sparked his spiritual energy right away. That rascal heard and kicked him for being cowardly yet still showing off. Then the target appeared, the panting dog and its owner. Sano slowly activated his demon arts as gently as possible, but it just enraged the dog, making it charge at Sano. The teacher saw that fierce face and bolted right away. But it chased him down and cornered him hard. It looked so hilarious he snapped a quick photo to post on Facebook. Haruaki was having fun teasing the dog for a bit, but bad luck hit hard. He got flung by a car, and on top of that, bitten by a dog too. By accident, he tumbled near a girl on the phone. That creepy expression totally scared her out of her wits. His colleague rushed over asking if he was okay, and Sano said, looking like this, and asking that comment, he should just fix his glasses right now. Sano walked over, thinking they passed the test, but Hatanaka wouldn't accept it, warning him next time to scare ghosts without hurting anyone. Okay, let me adjust that. No sooner said, their clothes were ripped to shreds. Just then, a girl passed by, thought they were perverts, and screamed in terror as she fled. With the extracurricular lesson over, everyone got thanks from the television crew, hoping for their continued effort. In the club interview activities, he also asked them to cut out all the nonsense parts. The students were still scheming to help their teacher. Sano saw this and worried their plan might not succeed. Right now, Haruaki is the advisor for the Everyday Creatures Club. He often goes to water those mischievous little spirits and feed the mermaid rice and such. Oh, and he even named the mandragora he's caring for, which also asks Haruaki confidently, pulling out a few to show and introduce their names. After hearing, they're totally confused because the three look identical. Somehow, Men spots the difference. Right then, a group of duplicates appears. Hieta and his crew's plan is to show the monsters the good side of their homeroom teacher by teaching these students. Mauka and Sano see this and are baffled, suddenly following that dense guy's words. Men sees it, and, acting out the scene, transforming into the helpless sheep about to be devoured. As the script demands, he must say something to convince them to turn over a new leaf. Hearing this, Sano steps in with, "Don't do this, guys," leaving him utterly frustrated and muttering, "What on earth?" Unaware of the chaos, the others join in, bowing their heads in apology. It's as if the homeroom teacher's words have truly reformed these wayward students. Suddenly, Sano suspects the television crew must be a bit eccentric to dive right in with them. Then, Mauka spots that one of the little creatures in the homeroom teacher's care is missing and in danger. Without hesitation, he leaps down to save it, becoming the victim himself. Luckily, the students react quickly, forming a human chain to pull him to safety. This heroic act will surely move audiences to tears, seeing a human risk everything for these mystical beings. Afterward, Sano reminds Haruaki, "Next time don't be so reckless, dragging us into the mess and nearly scaring us to death." Men chuckles and says, "I was scared out of my wits." The next day, all the creatures know about the eccentric teacher Haruaki. Seeing himself on television looking so dashing, he brags about it. Overall, thanks to the kids, the interview is a hit, even if it's a bit comically wild. Surprisingly, Men's brother Am watched it and calls to check in. He never expected. Haruaki becomes a teacher at the creature school. Soon, there's a festival back in their hometown, so Men is called to join. He also plans to head to Osaka over the weekend, sparking excitement among the students who overhear. You can tell they're eager to tag along with their teacher for the fun. The next day, Haruaki gets a call from Sano, saying he's on his way with the crew, so come out and meet them. The teacher is shocked, wondering how they to do that again. If an Exorcist secret slips out, it could cause trouble. He doesn't care, saying he'll stay just for today. Normally, the young man is all bold talk, treating the homeroom teacher like it's nothing. But today, he's surprisingly calm, so Haruaki finds it odd and asks him to get angry. In the end, he gets yelled at like a dog. Later, the four friends are at the station, eating and waiting for their ride. Since Yoshiki is a girl, she's targeted by some pests who harassing and hitting on her. When the four friends call for help, the others just sit back and laugh at the absurdity. Sano is at a loss, urging Hieta to step in and save her. Just as things escalate, a figure identical to Haruaki arrives, and teaches those troublemakers a harsh lesson. The students are stunned, realizing their homeroom teacher is this powerful at home. This cool demeanor steals Yashiki's heart. Later, Mauka steps in to punch the imposter. He's accusing him of staining Haruaki's pure innocence. In the midst of their heated argument, the real one suddenly appears, shocking everyone. It turns out they're identical twins. Amaki is the older brother, always putting on a tough front. The whole group is then driven home by the homeroom teacher in a surprising twist. So, it's time to introduce these as his students at the Monster Academy. Hita has to transform into a pot and squeeze into a plastic barrel since there's no space. That older brother doesn't like monsters, so he shows his disdain openly. Mauka asks about it, and the homeroom teacher explains that Amaki has always hated demons and monsters. When asked about his shabby outfit, they learn it was bought by his mom for 1,000 yen, a set of 3, not meant for fashion. His house sits in front of a grand shrine, fascinating everyone. He's already told his mom and family about the situation, so no issues. As for his dad, he leaves for work early, so they'll talk when he gets back. He wants the 4 to go inside first, but then the pesky one shows up. Seeing his son return, the father tries to hug him but gets taken down by Sensei. Mauka is shocked that the homeroom teacher knows how to fight. When asked about the person, he says, "It's just an unrested spirit, nothing to worry about." Sensei's mother comes out, surprising everyone with her youthful appearance. She promises to keep the family shrine secret so the students won't be scared. Sano already knew about it, so it's no big deal. He asks about the uncle who was taken down in the street, and the aunt explains he's just a spirit living in the house, easing any suspicions. Feeling like a total outsider, the father is too shocked to speak. Inside, the aunt says it's the first time they have guests, so she's thrilled. Mauka is curious about what Sensei was like as a kid, so she asks. And gets the story. Overall, his personality hasn't changed much. Back then, when Amaki started walking, Haruaki was still crawling. Out of nowhere, seeing a uniform fly by, the little one stood up and ran to pick it up. This moment shocks everyone. It turns out his obsession with uniforms started in childhood. The students are grossed out, thinking the teacher must have had issues with clothes in a past life. Asking about his job, they hesitate to mention how Haruaki sometimes gets hit with crap on his face but doesn't give up, or gets beaten by colleagues. Overall, there are no good memories. Hearing this, Amaki storms in, claiming teaching isn't suitable and demands his brother quit. Then he throws the guest out. He says he'll make Haruaki quit the school, insisting humans and monsters can't coexist. He warns them not to approach his brother again, infuriating Sano. Slyly, Sano pretends he went through trouble buying uniforms but hasn't given them yet. Hearing this, Sensei reacts, popping out to ask if it's true. Finding it disgusting, the group shuts the door and leaves. The brothers argue, and Amaki insists he's thinking of his brother, saying if he cares about those students, he should stay away. Hita sneaks in later, scaring the older brother witless, knocking him out cold. The group gets back in to explain. Amaki is the type who acts tough on the outside but fears monsters deep down. Back in school, he picked fights to show strength, ensuring no one bullied Haruaki. Because of that, no one dared be friends with the brothers. It's really unfair for the homeroom teacher. He didn't do anything and still suffered. The consequences. The aunt mentions the shrine has a festival tonight and asks them to help with the stalls, and they agree. Haruaki leads them around, exciting everyone. Mauka and Hita want to work at the shooting game, but the prizes here look boring, nothing like in the city. The little one asks his friend if there's a way to make it more appealing. Sano draws circles on the teacher as targets, saying this will surely hype up the players. Sensei forbids them from using monster powers here, or someone might realize they're monsters, and no one will come back. As night falls, the first wave of visitors arrives, the twins and Sano man one stall. Amaki doesn't trust monsters, so he psyches himself up to help. Seeing the tension, Sensei decides to get some food and asks what they want. The student goes on listing everything without shame. Left alone, Amaki feels uneasy, worried the spirit might bring bad luck. If it goes mad, it's game over. He thinks if he had the same monster exercising power as his brother, he'd have driven them away long ago. Hearing this, Sano is surprised, thinking the family all had it. From here, he shares about the family. Now, very few can use spiritual power, as it's faded over generations. This shrine is just a normal house, no seals or anything. Sano realizes that's why they entered without issues. It's just an ordinary shrine. The mystery is Haruaki's immense power. If the descendants are weakening, how did such a strong one emerge? The older brother explains that from birth, his brother had exceptional monster exercising strength. Once, their dad told Amaki about a door sealing a powerful monster, warning him not to open it, as their grandfather used all his power to seal it. To destroy it completely, only the greatest from ancient times could. Just as he finishes, their clumsy dad accidentally knocks over the seal. As a result, the monster escapes and seeks revenge. Amaki sees the massive creature and panics. This monster steals souls, so facing it means 9 out of 10 end up doomed. The dad faints from fear, leaving the son to grab his soul and flee. But it's not easy, it's blocked. Just then, Haruaki calls from outside. Drawn by the strong spiritual power, the monster goes for him. Amaki fears his brother will be dragged in, but no, Haruaki bursts in angrily, unlocking his power and obliterating the monster. Witnessing this, the father and son are stunned. From then, they realize he has the power of the greatest one. The cute little brother has no idea what's happening and pulls his brother to watch adorable uniforms on television. Remembering this, Amaki smiles, thinking his silly brother is more important. Sano sees the point isn't there. Strangely, Haruaki only just learned about his exercising power and that monsters exist. Sano thinks the family hid it. But it's not that. Whenever he sensed a monster, his immense power obliterated it. Amaki always witnessed it, but his twin didn't. To give Haruaki a happy life, the family kept it secret. Plus, the older brother made prayer beads to suppress his power, or monsters worldwide might not survive if removed. Sano finds it baffling that only the teacher is so unique. Over generations, Amaki guesses and asks if he believes in reincarnation. The greatest one had terrifying power, possibly reincarnated as his twin brother. Sano doesn't believe it, as it's unscientific, but then realizes monsters existing is already illogical. Overall, he opposes his brother teaching at the school, not because the monsters might be destroyed by Haruaki's power, but because if that happens, he'd be heartbroken and blame himself. That's what the older brother wants to avoid most. It would hurt Haruaki. Sano gets it, this guy is like the teacher, not bad at all, so he reassures him. He says if anything happens, he'll handle it. Haruaki's power is huge, but it won't affect beings like him, so if the teacher harms any monsters, he'll stop it. Haruaki overhears and is deeply moved. The older brother stays silent, wondering how to trust a plague spirit. Sano says the one he needs to trust isn't him, but his twin brother. He urges him to support Haruaki's teaching job, as he's putting in so much effort, or he might never feel confident again. Truly, Sensei is a perverted show-off, but the students don't hate it because he's trying his best. No one laughs at genuine effort. Sano sees him as a good teacher. Hearing this, Sensei is so touched he jumps to hug him, sending both into the pond. Haruaki cries with joy, vowing to try harder to stay at the monster school. The older brother is shocked at his brother's determination. The plague spirit gets dunked and retaliates by pinning the teacher down, then zapping to draw a crowd. The next day, the family sees him off to work, the dad heartbroken because yesterday his disrespectful son. Amaki pulls Sano aside, asking him to look after his brother, and he agrees. Their train leaves, so the group rushes in. The students ask why they're back so soon, and learn the teacher wanted to return to school right away. Amaki runs along outside, shouting encouragement for his brother to keep going. As twins, they understand each other just from gestures and lip movements. So, he's thrilled to have his brother's support, but actually it's not quite that. Amaki is running to warn them they're on the wrong train, heading the opposite way. But the scene shifts to later at the 100 Demons Academy, preparing for the sports festival. Mauka doesn't understand why he's being taken by the human-faced rock, worrying everyone. Haruaki rushes to save him, only to get pulled in too, and the duo crashes into the equipment storeroom, nearly costing the old man his life. Teacher Mickey hears the racket and checks, seeing his colleague clowning around, so he reminds him, if prep for the festival is this exhausting, will you survive the day? Kurahashi, a monster who sees the future, envisions Haruaki teaching in shorts and no shirt after the festival. Hearing this, Sano worries for his eyes, not wanting to see that hideous sight. A few days later, the principal announces, the sports festival begins. To uphold the monster world's reputation, classes must compete seriously. Everyone is excited, wondering if the prophecy will come true. The 6 classes per grade will compete, and the lowest scorer will face elimination. Hearing this, they're terrified, but the principal means the teacher's salary. It's unfair since they didn't even play. Hatanaka yells in protest because he has 3 kids at home. Cut the pay and how will he feed them? Haruaki doesn't care but chimes in, calling the principal abusive. In the end, the teachers get their pay docked and must teach in loincloths for a day. Thus, Kurahashi's prophecy becomes reality. It's utterly ridiculous. Not wanting to embarrass the students, he hugs the principal begging for mercy. This awkward scene amuses the other classes. His over-the-top actions are nothing like a normal person. Turning to Haruaki's serious students, their faces are stone cold, making others wonder what's wrong with this class. Asking Hita if the teacher is okay, she says, isn't it obvious? They affirm that in this event he'll cause unforeseen trouble. They're dreading the suffering ahead. Later, Haruaki is assigned to collect relay race themes. It's straightforward, so he agrees. He selects the right individuals to compete against other classes. The first leg is for the school's smallest students, with Mauka as the standout comedian and his loyal friend. The friends are eager for his performance. At the starting signal, he transforms into someone with strong legs, dashing to the finish while others haven't even started. Witnessing this epic shift, no one underestimates Mauka's tiny form anymore. He draws a task and must complete it to finish his leg. Mauka runs to Sano, asking to borrow his body. His close classmates ask what task he drew and he shows them. It says best friend, and Sano is that, so he needs to carry him to the finish. The others find it gross and shoo them away. Next is Yashiki's turn, with Haruaki cheering enthusiastically. This game hinges on drawing simple tasks. But she draws one requiring her to fetch the holy sword Excalibur from a volcano's mouth. It seems hopeless. Yet, Yashiki doesn't hesitate, running off, leaving her opponents stunned. It might take days. Exhausting, Haruaki checks the winner's task. It's fine. Mauka asks to keep the paper as a souvenir, and it's approved. Mauka's opponent draws a task to bring their secret crush, so he hides it. When Haruaki asks for the paper, he pretends it's lost and tosses it to Mauka. Thinking it's his, Mauka picks it up and takes it. Back to the race, Hieta is the last to start, but waits forever for her friend. Just as she mentions it, the friend arrives with Excalibur, saying she ran to the dorm to get it. Turns out she got it from a volcano long ago but didn't know what to do with it. Who knew it'd be useful today, leaving the guy baffled. He starts and gets threatened. That last place means getting chopped. Others are struggling with their tasks, so this is his chance. Drawing an easy one means winning, but life isn't that kind. Hieta draws. Run with the classmate you secretly dislike. He's shocked, freezing on the spot, cursing whoever wrote this to ruin friendships. Not winning means getting chopped, so he thinks fast. By process of elimination, the girls aren't it. Whomever he picks, tomorrow they'll gang up on him. Worst if he makes a girl cry, that's it for him. Yashiki is next because she's a girl but tomboyish and his childhood friend. He thinks she'll understand, but if her mom and sister find out, he's done for since they adore her. Mauka and Sano are kind, so no. Nadu and others share the dorm, all good people, so he dislikes no one. Mauka and his friend cheer him on. Thanks to that, he spots the paper in Mauka's hand and gets an idea, ditch the divisive paper and cheat. Asking what Mauka's task with Sano was, he learns it's best friend, so he borrows it, not realizing the paper is crumpled and not the right one. Mauka thinks it's just paper and hands it over. Misunderstanding it as his task, he takes it. But it actually says something about a secret crush. Seeing Sano strolling, he dashes to the bathroom for help. Sano doesn't know the task and asks, but before he can check, he's dragged along. With time running out, he doesn't let the plague spirit wash his hands and carries him to the finish. The swamp ghost is strong, keeping up despite the load, with Haruaki cheering wildly. This pumps Hieta up. He nicknames himself Mudstorm Whirlwind. Sano thinks it's nonsense, and they snag first place. Friends celebrate wildly. The teacher jumps in for a hug, praising the kid for bringing glory. Sano demands to see the task, so he confidently shows it. Reading it, everyone is shocked and faints. Turns out, the one he secretly likes is Sano. Haruaki laughs, declaring it valid. Hieta rereads and realizes. Now, how to explain this? It creates an unbridgeable gap between him and his friend. Keeping the original might not have lost the friendship, but liking another guy is a mess. Everyone laughs heartily. Sano punches him away, demanding they just be friends, not lovers. This injustice can't be washed away. The swamp ghost cries inside for his stupidity. The games continue with various events. Haruaki's class doesn't win this one, disappointing the teacher. Nuu and Utagawa ask about the cavalry lineup based on their knowledge. They've arranged for the strongest warriors. Miki seizes the chance to scout the enemy's plans but gets chased off. Seeing Haruaki's seriousness, he decides to go all out. Hatanaka asks his colleague about the excitement, learning the sports festival is more thrilling than ever. The most anticipated is the second-year cavalry battle, with classes splitting into groups of 4 or 5. They must use individual powers to steal headbands from other classes, so forming teams that combine powers is key. Points are tallied by headbands stolen, then totaled. Min's class follows the teacher's strategy immediately. Ota turns giant and protects his friends safely. With the tactic of swallowing people, no one can steal their points, but they're neutralized, out of the game. Haruaki is confident in his plan. He knows Ota's group is bad at moving, so defending suits them better. The second team is agile, including Sano, Akium, and Yanagida, forming the speed cavalry. Mauka's task is to turn into a magic arm, stealing points from opponents. This way, they stay safe while grabbing headbands. Unfortunately, the little one falls off his horse, losing points. Other classes scramble for the speed team's leftovers. Seeing this, Kurahashi and Nudu join the fight. Though not the ace like Sano's group, they're strong against others. By luring enemies and letting Kurahashi, who sees the future, scare them, they easily steal headbands. The teacher orchestrated all this. To pull off such feats, he must know each student's abilities, proving Haruaki is a great teacher who observes closely. Mickey sends his cavalry to surround, but then the savior appears, Hieta's team flying and attacking wide scale, sinking all into mud. Other flying monsters dive in to reclaim points. Maeda, a fish person, dodges expertly, with Momoyama and Aki's flight making them unbeatable. Alliances form to hunt them. At the critical moment, Hieta gets seasick and can't attack. Luckily, Utagawa's team arrives, turning into a bone spirit and crushing opponents. Temporarily, Haruaki's class leads. Just retrieve the speed team's dropped points, and they win. Maeda asks his friend to create a swamp like before. He feels unwell and apologizes. As soon as the fish person finishes, he vomits all over him. As a result, their team quits due to the fall. It even affects Utagawa's rescuers. Seeing this, the teacher can't sit still. Now, his class only has the giant team holding out and a weak one being chased, so they won't score enough. His class will lose and Haruaki must teach in a loincloth. Though rivals, they wish him luck, but they mock each other about Haruaki losing his salary. The principal hears and appears, saying they're still green. Actually, his class has another hidden cavalry, or rather, invisible, using their power to regain points. It's Yashiki's team, delighting Haruaki, as with those points, they won't be last. He explains that when the little one tipped him off about the invisible child's top stealth, he had Ota turn giant to distract, while Yashiki's team went invisible and fought silently. Though Mauka and Hita fell, she handled it all. She looks cool, making the teacher beam. The principal admires his tactics and student utilization. This deserves a raise, but nah, seeing him crazy, that money's pocketed. The cavalry event ends, and Haruaki's class places third overall. The gap to the top two is just 40 points. Nail the relay obstacle race, and they could take first. The teacher isn't worried, knowing Sano is fast. Suddenly, Hatanaka asks if his friend grabbed stuff from storage. Haruaki was too busy playing and forgot. So, he gets lightly scolded. It's fine, but don't neglect duties affecting others. Sano helps the teacher search. He holds the ladder while the teacher climbs. The teacher fears Sano might hit him coming down, so he's scared. Just kidding, Sano's in a rush for the final event. He's the third runner, so he must try hard. He warns if they lose, don't cry. The teacher trusts his student's ability, even if he didn't contribute much in the cavalry. Hearing this, the student is happy, and asks the teacher to buy a mysterious 500,000 yen vase for happiness. But Haruaki refuses. Still, liking the kid, he agrees. Afraid he'll run out of money, Sano is speechless, reminding the teacher to watch for scams. Suddenly, an accident. A student knocks over the ladder, and the teacher falls. Though not fatal, it triggers a chain of disasters. Seeing heavy logs about to crush Haruaki, the student risks pushing them away and trips, ending up crushed under 2 tons. Teacher Hatanaka arrives, heartbroken at the scene. The teacher is shocked and freezes, but luckily, as a monster, the student stays conscious. The teacher tries to use fox magic to split the logs, but Haruaki takes over. Seeing his beloved student hurt, he loses control. His power surges, hurling the logs skyward and rushing the student to safety. Everyone is stunned. Later, the doctor diagnoses a sprain from the fall, body intact. Haruaki blames himself for the danger. Mauka worries and hugs him, crying profusely. Though he can't compete, this is lucky. Sano advises the teacher to stop his silly acts. Clearly human, yet turning to crap is insane. As he tries to continue, Nudu stops him. If the injury worsens, it could affect the future. For the relay obstacle race, it's by monster types. First beasts, then object shapes, finally human-like, like Sano. Takahashi says don't worry, he'll operate if needed. Sano is terrified and decides to forfeit, finding a replacement. Immediately after, the animal monsters line up. Haruaki's class sends Aiz since he's a cat, sure to run and overcome obstacles better. Surprisingly, Nozumi's class has no one suitable, so the rat teacher steps up. Since the 100 Demons Academy doesn't ban teachers from competing, it's legit. He jokes it's time to beat the cats, but seeing Akium's serious face, he retracts. Not just him, the other students are focused. At the signal, the beast monsters dash, facing the first obstacle, a round wooden beam. For beasts, it's easy. AZ leads, runs ahead, then stops, realizing the beam is from his favorite catnip tree. His cheering friends yell at the idiot. Sano recognizes it's the beam that crushed him. Hearing this, the cat snaps out, destroys the obstacle for revenge. Luckily, each has their own challenges, so the gap isn't too big to catch up. This is hellish toyland for beasts. Acheum wants to play, but restrains, closes his eyes, and runs from the foxtail field. With determination, the cat overcomes temptation and his weakness. Next, Yanagida's turn. As paper, the teacher thinks he'll easily clear the obstacles. Meanwhile, Nezumi struggles with cheese traps everywhere. As expected, traps don't work on flying object monsters. So, organizers created winds for them. Thus, Yanagida gets blown away. But he anticipated such twists. As paper, he knows his weakness to wind. To counter, the paper pro pulls out special explosives from the science club. Nearby, kids freak and run. Yanagida just needs a drop to blast the obstacle. Yet, this boosts other teams. He's pissed but relies on the teacher as Sano's replacement. He wants to win and redeem himself. Everyone's shocked a human is running. How can he beat monsters? But reality differs. With resolve, Haruaki aims to make up for Sano by winning. Ahead is an obstacle for monsters only. Like climbing a straight tower, he cries, knowing 1,000 steps is impossible. As failure nears, Sano thinks of a plan. Success needs class unity. After sharing, all agree but feel embarrassed. Sano knows the teacher's immense power could overcome it. Acheum first supports. Having tried hard, they can't lose here. Sure, the teacher's a weepy, worthless perv, ignoring his principles. Still, he's a good guide. Nudu has no choice, rallies others to prepare. The principal thinks Sano plans to unleash Haruaki's exercising power. It's dangerous, especially with parents around. Disasters could ensue. Sano smirks, feigning ignorance but full of confidence. The principal doesn't stop him, surprising Miki and Hatanaka. They can't grasp youth's thoughts. Oh well, other teachers must stay alert. Now, Haruaki struggles with the 1,000 steps. If he can't jump, he must climb, no quitting. Building momentum, he sees students in various uniforms cheering. This fires him up. It's a dream scene. Wait, Yashiki's in a skirt without pants. Touched by their support, Haruaki's energy surges. Other classes laugh at the absurdity, but it's for the common goal, so the boys push on. No need for spiritual power. He runs like a superhero to the finish. The school watches in awe, not laughing anymore. This is the strength Sano mentioned. The trigger, Haruaki seeing his favorite uniforms. Other teachers can't believe the weak one's so strong, even as human. At this rate, they'll take first. The principal feels foolish. They worried about his power, but Sano made fools of them. Kids are the third worst after ghosts and demons. With insane speed, the teacher finishes brilliantly. Not celebrating the gap, he runs to photo the students for his dreams. Sano, grossed out, kicks him awake. Mauka happily hugs, saying the teacher's amazing and first. Shifting to the next day, as Kurahashi prophesied, Haruaki teaches in a loincloth despite winning. To explain, parents complained about the perversion, so the principal punished him. Still, they brought glory, so Hiita invites all for barbecue. The teacher pays since the boys endured wearing girls' uniforms yesterday to cheer him. Shifting later, Sano gets gifts from girls for his birthday, including his crush Momo. Haruaki sees her peeking and asks, but she bolts. Then, he's knocked out and locked away. Mauka hears the noise, checks, but sees nothing odd. Later, Aki arrives just in time for class. The teacher enters, but something's off. He suddenly yells at the students to sit. Normally gentle, everyone thinks he's lost it. Mauka and Sano spot it's an imposter, Amaki, the monster-fearing but kind brother. They pull him aside to ask about the real teacher. Yashiki and Hiita, having met him before, are called. The little one believes the brother came to investigate out of worry. Hiita thinks Haruaki swapped for a school tour, but no. Amaki says he knocked out his brother and locked him in the bathroom with uniforms, so he's fine. This way, Haruaki can't go anywhere until released. He asks them to keep it secret. Don't let anyone know. He wants to see his brother's work since last time he didn't hear much. Seeing his plea, Sano agrees to help. First, to avoid suspicion, he lies that the teacher has amnesia today. Yanagida believes it, knowing Haruaki could resurrect from explosion. No doubts, as amnesia doesn't change personality. Sano is stuck, saying all the chaos altered his voice. Since Haruaki causes trouble, they buy it. Utagawa arrives late, saying she was saving the cat, and sits. Exhausted, she turns back to Bone Spirit, scaring Amaki silly. Why come to a monster school if he's scared? Sano is out of words, wondering how long to cover this. Amaki acts dangerous, saying he's fine and starts class. The students, who like the teacher lately, advise him to recover his memories. Momo suggests using uniforms to awaken his inner self. She's a two-mouthed monster girl, front mouth sweet, back one rude. She thinks seeing her winter uniform will jog his memory. But Amaki has no interest, like his brother. so he shows nothing, terrifying the class. The amnesia might be worse than thought. When has Haruaki ever ignored uniforms? They demand he go to the clinic before it's too late. Later, the four remind Amaki to act better, or he'll be exposed. While peeing, Yanagida flies in, claiming he made a memory potion for the teacher. Knowing his dangers, the friends stop the imposter from drinking it, or he'd collapse. Sano pours it on a cloth, turns Yanagida into a lump, and flushes him. Pretending, he asks Amaki if he's used to monsters yet. This is key to mimicking Haruaki, as he's close to students. Outside, Koizumi falls downstairs. She's a long-neck monster, quite spooky. Mauka asks if she's okay and learns her leg's sprained. The fake teacher gallantly carries her, startling her. She chokes him with her neck, thinking he's up to no good. He explains as a teacher, it's his duty. Amaki, though terrified, tells himself she's just a long-necked girl, no big deal. Stay calm, but suddenly tired, he falls, injuring both. Sano is speechless, now escorting another to the infirmary. Waking up, Amaki admits teaching is exhausting. How does his brother handle it? The class is here, crying for the unlucky teacher. From this, he sees how beloved Haruaki is. The boys visit with gifts, and the colleagues, not realizing it's a fake, check on him. Even the garden spirits he cares for come. Amaki is satisfied, thinking no need to investigate more. His brother's affection is clear, so he asks Sano to keep today's secret from Haruaki. They go rescue the teacher locked in the bathroom. He's smiling, so probably fine. Seeing him without pants, they kick him for being gross. That evening, Haruaki sees Momo sad, and asks, apologizing for scaring her earlier. The back mouth curses him, worrying the student. Haruaki says he ignores that mouth, so don't worry. She's wanting to give a gift to a boy, but doesn't know how. Momo recounts how Sano helped her at the festival after Hita vomited on her, so she wants to repay and confess her feelings. But he's popular with girls, so she's not brave enough. The teacher feels proud of his friend Sano. Yanagida, kind and liked by girls. Then, Yanagida flies over, having overheard, and pulls out a new perfume. He says spraying it will double attractiveness. They trust and try, but it smells like crap. Asking, they learn it's from monster poop and pee. Of course it's foul. They're shocked. Yanagida has no nose, so he didn't smell it. Haruaki rages, cursing the noseless for making perfume. Nudu and Hita arrive, asking if the teacher's okay. But smelling the crap on her, they go mad. Yanagida's junk perfume works, attracting the mud boy. He confesses, calling her pretty, disgusting the back mouth. The one-eyed stays sane, so they run before it worsens. The school's boys target Momo now. Later, they explain the perfume attracts male monsters. Nudu says he'll turn it into a rag. Haruaki isn't affected since he's human. Running to a dead end, no escape. Desperate, he summons Sano with, "Save me." Cutting to Amaki at the station, thinking he's friends with the plague spirit, but no one sees him off. Sano protects the teacher, asking what's up. Learning of Yanagida's mess, he wants to turn his friend into fertilizer. Nudu asks the plague spirit to stop the perverts. He tries, but only rips their clothes. Haruaki thinks it's worse. Asking Yanagida for a fix, he suggests washing off the crap smell. The school pool's under renovation. The biggest water source is the teacher's fish tank. He calls the spirits to bring the aquarium outside. The boys surround them, no way out. Haruaki tells Sano to carry her into the water. Maybe it works. He does, embarrassing Momo, but she likes him, so it's thrilling. Indeed, the smell fades and all snap back, clueless. Everything's resolved, giving the couple their moment. The backmouth sweetly thanks him for the festival handkerchief, wanting to give one back. Sano likes the Mauka-shaped one and takes it. But, opening it, it's triangular. Momo is shocked. It's her underwear. She grabbed wrong in haste. The friends above envy the unique gift. Only the plague spirit gets girls' undies. Hita wonders how he got here. They plot to attack Sano. He's scared, returns it, saying he'll take the sentiment, not wanting her embarrassed. This makes her like him more. That night, friends bathe together. Suddenly, their dorm loses water, so they go out. Yashiki enters, and the girls are waiting. Momo asks the invisible child about the plague spirit's girl preferences, since he's close to Mauka. On relationships, Utagawa recently rejected some handsome guys. She pretends not to think about love but hides liking Nudu. Hearing this, the others are shocked. What's he got? Jumi recalls Amaki carrying her. It was nice. Suddenly, they hear the boys chatting with the teacher in the staff bath. Haruaki prefers bonding with them. Yashiki wonders if the boys are gossiping, they'll hear it all. First time seeing Hayata with one eye. He compliments the teacher's package. This stirs the girls. The little one, tiny, envies the teacher's size. Yashiki, curious about the teachers, decides to climb and see. Momo wants to see Sano's, okay, keep it secret. The others follow. leaving Utagawa out, unable to hold back. She turns to Bone Spirit and sees Nudu's and others. Finally, Utagawa dominates, making the girls jealous. She admits seeing wild elephants but only cares for Nudu. As for the teacher and Sano's, she's unsure. The boys overheard, so they're shocked. Later, seeing Utagawa, the teacher runs away embarrassed. Nudu shyly says, whatever, he trusts her. Asking the boys, they spill they heard everything. Who knew she liked checking packages? Utagawa explains Yashiki and Momo dared her, but it's hopeless. A few days later, as Hatanaka prepares for class, he finds crow feathers. It feels like bad omens. Just as he says, the teacher gets kidnapped by a monster unnoticed. At Haruaki's place, watching news with Miki. Recently, animal monster abductions for feathers are rising. Takahashi's clinic is busy, as victims are shaved bald. The culprits return them politely. Hearing this, Haruaki is shocked. Even the monster world has weird crimes. Miki confirms it's dangerous now. So, is he seducing women like that? It infuriates him. The guy claims he's innocent, never had a girlfriend, so how could he? Haruaki is shocked. Such a handsome face, yet single like him. From here, their bond tightens. Miki acts weak, asking his friend to use his exercising power if trouble comes. Haruaki thinks Sano is stronger. Why not ask him? Speaking of, Sano appears, asking if the teacher saw Mauka. Since lunch, he's vanished. Miki wonders why he's here during Hatanaka's class. The other two report the teacher never showed. They've searched everywhere. Suddenly, television announces abductions at 2 p.m. That's exactly when Mauka and Hatanaka disappeared. They realize the kidnappers took the two beasts. Excited, Sano jumps out the window. Seeing this, Haruaki follows, then panics at the third floor. Lucky not to die. Helpless, Miki asks Nuwu to call the police and joins the search. Because he's human, vulnerable in this chaotic world, they fled for a while but got cornered in a dead end, with no escape in sight. Desperate, Haru summons Sano with the desperate chant, "Save me." The scene shifts to Min's twin brother, now at the dock thinking he was tight with the god of plague, yet no one showed up to say goodbye. Sano stepped in to protect the teacher, asking what went wrong. After learning Yanagida stirred trouble again, he wanted to transform his friend into something powerful. Nudu asked the god of plague to use dark magic to stop those wild ones. Hearing this, the young man tried it, but it only ripped their clothes apart. Haruaki watched, realizing it might be even more dangerous now. Asking Yanagida for a fix, he got advised to wash away the foul stench. The school pool's under renovation, so the biggest water source is that aquarium Haru often visits. He called the little spirits. To bring the fish tank to the yard, the boys in school had them surrounded on all sides, no escape possible. Haru urged Sano to carry his friend and jump into the water, it might work. The god of plague followed suit, making Momo feel awkward but thrilled by the closeness. Sure enough, once the scent vanished, everyone snapped back to normal, clueless about what happened. Everything resolved, restoring peace for the couple. Momo leaned in with sweet words, thanking him for the handkerchief at the sports festival, and now wanted to return the favor with one of her own. Sano liked the badger design from Mauka, so he accepted it. But strangely, when he opened it, the handkerchief turned triangular. Momo was shocked, like being struck by lightning. It was her underwear. Turns out she grabbed the wrong thing in her rush yesterday. The friends above witnessed this unique gift exchange and felt jealous. Probably, only the god of plague gets such a special favor in school. Hita wondered how he pulled off this day. They started plotting to target Sano. He got scared, refused the gift, and handed it back. If I keep this, those guys will kill me tomorrow. He didn't want Momo embarrassed, so he gently said he'd cherish her feelings, making her love him even more. That night, the close friends headed for a bath. Suddenly, their dorm lost water, forcing this. Yashiki entered to find the girls waiting. Momo, knowing the guardian spirit is tight with the god of plague, asked about his taste in girls. She saw he seemed uninterested in romance, always playing with Mauka. Mentioning love lives, Utagawa recently turned down some handsome guys from the next class. She pretended not to think about dating, but hid her crush on Nudu well. The others were shocked, wondering what Nudu had that made the White Star obsessed. Suddenly, Jumi recalled the thrill of being carried by a Maki. Then, they overheard the boys chatting with the head teacher in the staff bath. Haruaki preferred sticking with his group. Yashiki wondered if the boys were gossiping wildly, they could hear everything. For the first time, Haru noticed Hita's unique eye and found it intriguing. He complimented the head teacher's impressive build, sparking chaos among the girls. The short guy bragged about being jealous of the teacher's size. Yashiki, unlike others, curiously wondered about Sano's, with friends boasting about it. She joked about climbing up to see. Momo joined in, wanting to check Sano's too. Okay, let's keep this secret. The others followed, leaving Utagawa feeling isolated from the excitement. In the end, she transformed into her massive white star form and outshone everyone, making the girls jealous. She admitted seeing wild elephants but only cared about Nudu. As for the teachers or Sano's size, she wasn't sure. The boys next door overheard it all and were stunned. Later, spotting Utagawa, Haru fled in embarrassment. Nudu shyly said, no matter what, he trusted her. Asking the boys, they spilled that they heard everything. Who knew she liked checking out guys like that? Utagawa tried explaining it was just curiosity with Yashiki and Momo, but even jumping in the Yellow River wouldn't clear her name. A few days later, as Hatanaka prepared for class, he spotted crow feathers, sensing something bad coming. No sooner said, a monster snatched him away unnoticed. Meanwhile, Haruaki watched the news with Miki. Lately, kidnappings of animal-class monsters for their fur were rampant. Takahashi's clinic was flooded with bald victims. The villains were oddly polite, returning them after the act. Haru was shocked that the monster world had such weird troubles. His colleague warned it's a dangerous time. Jokingly asking if Miki tricked women like that, it made him furious. He claimed he's innocent, never had a girlfriend, so how could he? Haru was stunned that such a handsome guy was still single like him. From then, their bond grew as tight as shadows. Miki acted weak, asking his friend to use family powers to protect him if danger came. Haru thought Sano was stronger, so why not ask him? Then Sano appeared, saying teachers shouldn't rely on students for protection. He asked if the head teacher saw Mauka anywhere. She'd been missing since lunch. Miki wondered why it's Hatanaka's class time, yet she's here. 2 others arrived, saying the teacher never showed up. They searched everywhere, but found nothing. Suddenly, television reported kidnappings at 2 p.m., matching when Mauka and Hatanaka vanished their animal-class monsters. Excited, Sano jumped out the window to search. Haru followed, then panicked, realizing it's the 3rd floor. Lucky he didn't die. Desperate, Miki called the police and chased after them. Mauka woke up caged with others and more victims. Aki wondered who did this, as the Crow Dog gang appeared, introducing themselves as fur-shaving villains. A team member spotted intruders Haruaki's group and the captives hoped for rescue. The leader ordered the secretary to trap them for time, to shave new prey outside. Little spirits led them here, sensing the villain's lair shrouded in mist. Noriko was carried by Haruaki as they split to find Sano, with Kazuo in tow. Masumi Maro went with Miki. The 2 wondered how the teacher recognized them despite looking alike and even named them. Impressive! Miki ditched the chubby Masumi Maro, who got angry and cursed him out. Miki fumed, wondering why everyone calls him a womanizer when he's clueless about romance. Just as he spoke, Haruaki and his captured comrades light up with hope as rescue draws near, their spirits soaring like heroes on an epic quest. The sly captain orders his young secretary to set a clever trap for the incoming saviors, buying precious time to shear fur from the fresh prey outside. Thanks to the sharp-eyed little imps uncovering the kidnappers' hidden base, they finally track it down. A chilling fog of mystery blankets the den of villains, confirming their wicked presence. Meanwhile, little Noriko is cradled in Haruaki's arms as they split up, determined to find Sano. They bring along Kazuo, while Masumi Maro teams up with teacher Miki. The 2 wonder how the teacher spots them despite their identical looks and even names them. It's truly astonishing. A colleague can't keep an eye on the pudgy Masumi Maro, and in a blink, he's gone. The furious little imp scolds Miki harshly, leaving him fuming and confused about why everyone calls him a heartbreaker when he hasn't even tasted romance. Just as he finishes speaking, a group of stunning women suddenly appears. Masumi Maro is baffled by the flock of alluring figures here, realizing this guy is obsessed with women. Miki admits he has 5 sisters, so his fear is justified. They make him do everything, leaving him without a girlfriend. He's attacked by these beautiful older women, and it's terrifying. Nearby, Sano and Kazuo hear the desperate cries and guess that someone's been caught. This weird scene reminds him of when a horde of Haruakis showed up. Dealing with one teacher is bad enough, but a crowd? It's overwhelming. The culprits are the kidnappers' members. The captain sees this and orders his deputy to start shaving fur. Teacher Hatanaka questions what they'll do with his fur. The young one presents a price list, saying they'll sell it, though they're desperately poor and scraping by. Someone protests, calling him a vile old man. Offended, he wants to make the boy experience it first. In fear, the cat shifts the blame to the unlucky teacher, claiming the ferret said it, not him. Hatanaka is dragged out, helpless. Outside, Haruaki worries deeply upon hearing the cries of his teammates. Strange phenomena unfold, showing him the mischievous students. Everyone fears this sight and stays back. It seems the magic of one kidnapper manifests their inner fears. But he didn't count on Haruaki's power to banish evil. Little Noriko encourages the teacher to shake off his fear, asking how long he'll stay weak. Didn't he want to be an amazing educator? If so, face the trials and remind them of that. Heeding her words, he approaches the two, but in his terror, his inner strength erupts, shattering the kidnapper's magic completely. Thus, teacher Miki and Sano are freed. The captain, witnessing this, realizes these are his old friends. The illusion creator appears, praising Haruaki's skill, saying, "If he can dispel the demon dog's magic, he's truly legendary." It steps closer, asking what power he used. Haruaki recognizes this as the kidnapper, and fears even a single hair might be lost if caught. They try to bluff, claiming they're workers at a chemical factory. But he's exposed it's an abandoned candy factory. Oh no, he already knows Haruaki's a teacher at the Monster Academy. Yet, he's curious how a human like him has such power. Everyone's grabbed, but the captain stops his secretary, revealing they're his friends, leaving Haruaki confused. The masked one notes his demon-banishing strength is as potent as ever, shocking him that this guy knows him. On the other side, the Mauka group escapes and flees. Teacher Hatanaka forgets his discipline, able to cut through iron like butter. The three wander aimlessly, thinking if caught now, it's not just fur shearing, they might end up as dinner. Hearing this, Akise bursts into tears over unfulfilled dreams. He shares his wish to be a pet with a girlfriend and live happily, even as someone's house companion. It's so pessimistic. The teacher straightens out his mindset. Mauka asks if he's told anyone this silly dream. Turns out no, because saying it might get him killed. Akium asks Mauka if he'll become a pet when Sano marries, since they're so close. The little one confidently replies, "Sano only sleeps with me and wouldn't love anyone else." Distracted, they're caught, terrifying Mauka, who calls for Sano instinctively, and he charges in, taking down the enemy and freeing his friend. Miki arrives, ensuring temporary safety. They embrace in joy, relieved they weren't completely shaved. That would have been hilarious. The foe is dazed but counters with magic, creating stone faces to chase them. It's just basic demon dog sorcery. The deputy demands they hand over the beasts, promising to spare the furry ones. Miki says if it saves his skin. "If I save my skin, I'll hand it over." The wine ghost has no booze, so he's useless. The god of plague can only tear clothes off beasts, leaving the rest vulnerable. Desperate, Miki stepped up to stop them. He muttered that with some wine, he'd crush this foe. The enemy created more stone faces. Meanwhile, Haruaki explained to the kidnappers he's the descendant of the first, not some Cloud X guy. The masked one invited the teacher to join for his demon-slaying power, perfect for evil deeds. He pitied them serving a nasty principal. Suddenly, the principal appeared, having lived in the same era as the masked one. Haruaki hugged his friend but got kicked away like trash. The principal demanded he stop tempting his subordinates and acting like a thief. Disgraceful. The other laughed, saying he'd do this forever. More importantly, he wouldn't accept someone obsessed with the first more than him. That shifted the air, making Haru uneasy. Above, cornered, Sano activated his magic, normally fearing involvement, but trusted by Mauka, he did it. Darkness fell, pipes crashed down, separating them. Those below bore the brunt, innocent yet hit. Luckily, they're tough. The enemy saved his team as Sano's group escaped. The Crow Dog gang fled before police arrived. Ironically, the students showed up with murderous glares at the kidnappers for touching their loved ones. Impressive how fierce they looked. The secretary used magic to escape. The next day, Issei was annoyed the papers didn't cover their heroics. Instead, in the chaos, he stole the masked ones and glasses guys' wallets for revenge, giving them to the teacher. Turns out the secretary studies here, so he greeted Haruaki. He introduced himself as Karasuma, the one they cared for yesterday. He tried stealing their wallets but found only loose change, so he threw it back. After failing, they quit the fur game, so things are calm. Shifting to a sweltering summer day, Haruaki's class went on an outdoor trip to a camping island. Everyone was excited, except Hatanaka, stuck with this wild class. He reminded them time's short, the ghost test starts soon. They were surprised, thinking it was a break. They were taken to the old 100 Ghosts Academy for the practical exam, worried monsters might appear. Others shrugged, saying monsters are everywhere anyway. Though abandoned, the place looked clean enough to stay. They recalled the neighboring class visited last week and returned pale as ghosts. Inside, they were separated by gender to avoid puppy love. Hatanaka outlined the rules baths are available, no worries. The guys warned the girls not to peek but got yelled at. Night fell. Haruaki gathered the students for a chat before bed. He asked who had a girlfriend. None did, killing the vibe. Hita swore he'd have one next year. The colleagues beat them for touching a sore spot as the test began. They dragged Haruaki away. The others were told to sleep or Miki would kiss them. Later, Akium needed the bathroom but feared ghosts, so he woke his friend. Nezu agreed, puzzled why a monster like him still feared ghosts. Suddenly, they saw a figure. Startling them, it was just a classmate, not a ghost. Renzu was exasperated at them hugging at night. Asking why she was there, she said waiting for Utagawa to finish, but she's been gone an hour. Worried, the one-eyed guy decided to check while going himself. Akium kept talking to prevent him from running off. Renzu searched for her and vanished, panicking Nudu. He thought they were hiding to scare him. Entering, bloody hands appeared. By the time the cat finished, no one was there. A ghost flashed and vanished, terrifying him. Outside, footsteps approached. As a cat, he bolted to the teacher's room for help. Haruaki, asleep, freaked out at the cat on him. Other students reported the disappearance over 10, boys and girls gone. Hatanaka's announcement blared. The test started. Some felt fear, but more fun awaited. Alumni were posing as scarers. Avoid them to win. The key. One person grabs the key and escapes for the class to pass. Haruaki joined as support. They protested, saying he'd just hinder. He argued back, warned that if all got caught, summer break meant extra classes. Terrified, they vowed to win. The limit, dawn, they split into groups. Haru's team, Sano, Akium, and Fuji, who dresses like a girl. Asking if it's a hobby, a female ghost with black teeth appeared. Haruaki checked the 100 monsters buckets, a strong one. Before it could grab, Fuji's ice froze it. As a snow woman, she's powerful with cold breath. Haruaki was curious, thinking snow women are females. The first floor group fled from models chasing them, too scared to fight. Hiding in the infirmary, they met Takahashi, an alumnus from 100 years ago, with 3 nurses. Kurahashi realized they were in the lion's den. The nurses revealed their true forms, terrifying them, and they became the first captured and tormented. Mauka heard 4 were caught, leaving 11. Yanagida assured them he'd blow up the building if needed. Suddenly, he got hit by magic, creating a clone, confusing everyone. Both claimed to be real, so they tied them up. The short one suggested launching both into space. One showed fear, the other bragged they ID'd the real Yanagida as the jerk. Mauka tried to burn the clone, but was stopped. He pulled a special explosive to dust it. Before friends could stop him, it blew up. The clone vanished, but they all quit the game. They thought they should have burned the real one first, there's too dangerous. Nearby, Yoshiki's team planned to raid the broadcast room. Odawara pointed out the window, it's the 100 Ghost Parade. They got attacked. Sasuke found it fun, but Hita pulled her to run. The Ox Ghost caught her, and they were captured before the Swamp Ghost. Frustrating him, he swore revenge for his future girl. The announcement blared their capture. Only 4 students and 1 useless teacher left. Everyone was shocked. Just as Nudu returned, scaring Issei, thinking he was a ghost, he explained he escaped earlier. The cat was sad to be left behind. The one-eyed guy apologized, saying he was chased too. Asking about the key, no leads. Haruaki suggested the scarers might not have it, maybe a teacher does. Nudu analyzed the teachers wouldn't go that far. Haruaki suspected something odd about him, asking Sano, even he couldn't tell. Then, Nizumi appeared with the key, taunting them to chase. As a cat, Akium attacked the rude rat, but he dodged. The teacher mocked his inexperience against the Zodiac's top. Fuji blew cold smoke, freezing him. Akium grabbed the key, it was fake chocolate. Furious, Fuji kicked him into the ceiling, confusing the 2 above. After searching, Haruaki ordered downstairs. At the stairs, bloody hands appeared, targeting Sano from a ghostly figure. Haruaki was mesmerized. Loving the uniform, it's like black sailor bliss. Everyone else saw nothing, and ran from the hands. Dawn approached as the test neared end. Akium was caught first, but Fuji fought off the ghost. Then, Slime trapped the lead. The cat tried freeing him as a furball car charged. Fuji urged him to run, or his rescue was pointless. Akium stayed, scared but loyal. Luckily, Hita arrived, creating mud to sink Thema revenge for the cat's capture. Asking about the key, still nothing. More ghosts came, so the 2 leads stayed to hold them off, urging the rest to escape. Suddenly, Sano realized something wrong. Remembering Hatanaka's words and Haruaki's hints, he figured Haruaki was the key to victory. Elsewhere, with the Swamp Ghost and Snow Woman's help, they defeated the 100 Ghosts' army. None had the key, frustrating Fuji. Thinking they lost as dawn broke, Sano turned it around, grabbing the teacher for the key, shocking everyone. Haruaki was proud of his brilliant student for winning. Explanations later unlocked the door first. Issei demanded answers. Sano pieced together Haruaki's subtle clues and his habit of checking his pocket, fearing the key might fall. The cat exposed the imposter. He was shocked how he knew it was cat intuition and their close bond. No real friend would act cold. It was Officer Yamazaki in disguise, an alumnus causing confusion. He threatened Haruaki for his pervy behavior, promising a cell if it happened again. Haruaki laughed it off and woke the captured friends. Hatanaka praised his support role, then asked who he was talking to at the stairs. Miki said no one in uniform was there. The kids confirmed only hands, realizing Haruaki was haunted. Issei shared the bathroom ghost story, proving it was real. A few days later, Haruaki was exhausted in class, worrying students about family visits. Yesterday, Renju's mom nearly ate him. Maeda's house was similar, even a baby bullied him. Today, just Mauka's, so he thought it'd be fine. Outside, he asked Sano and another to come, as Sano never visited. The one-eyed guy was thrilled to bring his closest school friends home. They arrived at a massive mansion, wondering how such a small guy has such a huge house. He said it's for his big family. Inside, the pressure-hit Mauka was welcomed as young master by tough subordinates. Even Sano was intimidated. The sign revealed it's the Badger Alliance for his kind. The teacher nervously called him young master, confusing him. The family greeted them, having heard stories the teacher was the perv, the other Sano, Mauka's best friend. He said he has 30 siblings, boys and girls, as his mum births about 10 at a time. They introduced themselves, but he only remembered Beans, the smartest, set to be the next leader. At 3, she already ordered welcomes. The two wanted to leave, overwhelmed. Meeting Mauka's parents was intense, surrounded by weapons. The father wasn't thrilled the teacher was human, doubting if he could teach monsters. Mauka snapped at him, saying Haruaki's amazing and comparing him to normals would insult him. The father, loving his kid, agreed. The wife was strict, scolding her husband for being foolish. They asked if a human could protect students in crises. As guardian, the father wanted to test him. Haruaki was baffled. Mauka said the father always challenges teachers, but Mickey escaped somehow. Bin revealed Mickey's secret, his bars in the red light district, and the father visits, so he let him go to avoid his wife finding out. Before preparing, the father swung his sword. Haruaki ran, unarmed against a weapon. They chased through the vast estate. Sano worried the teacher was too scared to fight. Cornered, Haruaki suppressed his demon-slaying power to hide it, punching the ground to seal it. Few knew his ability. At his limit, he used Bean's tip, threatening to tell the wife about the father's visits. The father panicked, calling Haruaki unmanly for snitching. Haruaki argued he'd do anything to be their teacher, even if seen as trash. The father respected him, but warned if his son got hurt, prepare a coffin. He bowed, asking Haruaki to watch over Mauka. Beans was surprised he bent the father. The wife appeared, slapping him for the red light trips. Haruaki realized she's the real boss. She admired his skills without magic and asked him to care for her son and family. The girl liked him, offering a gift for thought money, but it was a kiss, wanting him as her future husband. Sano was shocked, as she's a monster. The father fumed at his daughter's first kiss stolen. Haruaki explained it was accidental, and his first too. They joked, forbidding dating Beans. Haruaki said he wouldn't, but got chased for rejecting her. A few days later, the family visit hell ended. Haruaki and colleagues relaxed, surveying a Tokyo trip. He saw many in uniforms, thrilled. Hatanaka and Miki posed as humans, Nezumi as a keychain. They shared pasts, they've been friends since childhood. Suddenly, Haruaki needed the bathroom and wandered off, reminding Miki of their past visit. Back then, as Nezumi's students, they were mischievous, making a bird steal from him. They bumped into a lost Haruaki, who apologized and offered money, thinking they were thugs. Nearby, a lost Sano missed his brother. Hatanaka, with dyed hair, scared him, making him hide. Sano activated his power, nearly crushing a tree. They helped the lost boy. To calm him, they bought ice cream. He loved badger toys even then. Haruaki needed the bathroom, so Miki carried him. Sano left his toy, but it was trash collected when he returned. Knowing its importance, Haruaki chased the truck. Hatanaka and Miki followed on a bike, with the bird carrying Nezumi. They retrieved it by evening. Sano's brother arrived, thanking them. Haruaki got a luck charm. Turns out, they've been fated since then. The brother thanked them, but secretly cursed the monsters. Hatanaka and Miki gave the charm to Haruaki. The principal grabbed them, pointing out a Haruaki-like guy yelling. It was his twin, so they greeted the new friends, hoping to meet again. Not knowing names, Miki wondered about the lost boy now. Time passed, faces faded. Haruaki wanted close bonds like theirs, so they called him by name. They're the same age. Miki was happy for his first real friend. Sano shared his lost story, and how 3 strangers helped, wondering what they're up to now. Then, he recalled their faces. They're his teachers. The next day, Miki's class went to Tokyo, exciting everyone. Mauka noticed something missing on the bus Haruaki. They stopped to call him. He's on a subway, caught in the crowd. Miki told them to go to Marunouchi. He'd find his way. Sano doubted it. His phone died. Students informed Hatanaka. Nezumi suggested they search while others toured. If Haruaki arrives, call. He worried about them alone in the human world. Nezumi took over, glad to skip the ceremony. He reminded them of 100 Ghosts Academy rules. Human-like monsters are fine, others must disguise, no magic around humans. They split to find Nezumi. He used rats to search Tokyo's network. Mujina played while searching. Aki's joined, frustrating Oda. Odawara warned against slacking but bought everything himself. Girls thought he was hiding with a lantern and asked for photos. From above, Nezumi saw their antics and sighed. The four guys used the one-eyed guy's sight. Maeda, as a fish, grew legs but couldn't walk, so Rei carried him. Yanagida turned into a flag to follow. Utagawa's group chased Yashiki through game shops. Sano asked station staff but found no leads. Suddenly, two Takahashis greeted its Yamazaki disguised. They were heading to a friend. Sano sensed trouble with Miki, who lost the charm Sano gave him. Luckily, someone picked it up, Sano's brother. Haruaki thought it was a student, but no. The brother recognized the goofy kid from before. How's he lost again? Haruaki, not remembering, invited him for a drink due to his monster ties. They shared stories. Teaching at 100 Ghosts Academy was scary at first, but fun. The brother said the charm brings luck if bad. Eat it. Haruaki needed to charge his phone, so they went shopping. A girl ran by, and Haruaki accidentally knocked her down. The brother, hating monsters, called her the guardian spirit haunting them all, predicting disasters, urging them to leave. Later, with the charger, Haruaki asked about a black-haired guy like him, but wandered to uniforms and got scolded for rudeness. Fire trucks passed, the mall was burning, as predicted. Haruaki ran to check on the girl. The brother explained the guardian spirit foresaw it. Her red dress signals doom, but it's subconscious. No casualties, but as an Onmyoji, he sensed she's trapped. Haruaki rushed in. The brother stopped him, saying one monster's loss isn't worth attending, could kill him. He ranted about monsters not belonging, but Haruaki refused to be weak. He's their teacher and must save Hirsch could be his student. The brother was disgusted, realizing Sano admires such a fool. Inside, Haruaki was lucky the fire wasn't widespread. He broke the girl's barrier like before and headbutted the door to free her. As they escaped, an explosion hit. Haruaki's power protected him, but she might not survive. He called Sano for help, explaining the mall fire and needing rain from wind and thunder gods. They're far, so they must get closer. The ceiling collapsed, cutting the call. To find the fire, they asked Nezumi via rats and smoke. Leaving the tower, they split-own distracts Maeda flies as a fish. They located it at Ginger, but the aviation monster stopped them for using magic. Sano ran, wishing Haruaki could hold on. It takes 20 minutes, if only Yanagida was here. Sano thought of a way and bolted. Inside, Haruaki was injured but conscious. The girl was scared, so he comforted her. The charm activated, summoning a spirit boy to guide them. Though confused, they followed to the exit. The spirit thanked him for keeping the charm and left. On the roof, they were safe, but smoke weakened Haruaki. The girl tried pulling him out, but he urged her to go. She refused, helping him regain his senses. Seeing the charm, he realized the boy was the kid he helped, grateful for the save. As rain fell, not from the charm but Sano and the gods, they escaped. Suddenly, underground water doused the fire. Nezumi's rats caused it, a lucky blessing. Sano thanked Yanagida, who was Yamazaki disguised. He copied skills to bring help. The Tokyo trip ended with memories, as 100 Ghosts Academy entered summer break. Everyone was thrilled, wishing each other well. The next day, they went home. Hita enjoyed the peaceful countryside, getting his ears cleaned by his sister for practice, in case she hurts her husband. His mom called him to greet Nu, who rushed over. He visits the countryside every summer. This year, he's at Yashiki's inn next to Hita. Seeing his friend wander, he wanted to ask the teacher for help. Nudu laughed it off, saying it won't change, but looked thoughtful, evoking sympathy. Yashiki made ice cream. Hita's is swamp-flavored, theirs strawberry. They wondered what classmates are doing. Nudu knew Ota plays volleyball with Akise. Hita tried the special cream and found mud in it, annoyed being a swamp ghost doesn't mean eating dirt. Shifting to Badger and Renju's family, her mom caught something huge. Thinking it was a giant spider, it was Renju's mom on research. Bug catching failed, disappointing them. Akiki feared getting beaten at home. Mauka said his dad's in Kyoto for fun, so mom's wrath goes to him for red light visits. They asked why. He's drunk and didn't recognize Miki disguised as his daughter. The wine ghost fumed at babysitting his son all year and serving his dad now. When the father went to the bathroom, Miki complained to the sister about being forced to dress as a girl. She said it's for money, so endure it. The wine ghost was sent to fleece the father, as his family is rich. Hatanaka was down, trying to call his friend with no answer, plus 3 rowdy kids at home. Miki was probably the happiest, with Sano visiting. Per the principal's push, since Sano lives alone, his mom welcomed him. Reminding the Tokyo trip, she was relieved he survived. Hearing Haruaki's injury, they panicked. She advised not to risk himself, as it betrays those who care know when to sacrifice and return safely. Haruaki apologized for worrying her. The next day, Sano said he'd work part-time, not freeload. Haruaki joined for experience. Their destination was near 100 Ghosts Academy, so they'd have an escort. Calling the monster taxi, Yanagida arrived, making them uneasy. He said he's driving for summer cash, they can go anywhere for 500 yen. They felt unsafe. Sano sensed something wrong with Miki, who lost the charm. His brother found it. Haruaki thought it was a student, but it was him. Recognizing the goofy kid, he invited him for a drink. They shared lives. Teaching monsters was tough but enjoyable. The brother praised the charm's luck. Haruaki needed to charge his phone, so they shopped. A girl ran by, and he knocked her down. The brother called her the guardian spirit, predicting disasters, urging them to leave. With the charger, Haruaki asked about a black-haired guy, but wandered to uniforms and got scolded. Fire trucks passed, the mall burned. As foretold, Haruaki ran to save her. Another figure steps in. Teacher Rat agrees to be a temporary substitute teacher, but truthfully, he despises giving speeches at ceremonies, so he grabs this chance to shirk his duties and feels secretly thrilled. They repeat the outer rules of Hyakki Academy to the students. As yokai, those with human forms are okay, but the others must disguise themselves perfectly and never let humans witness their powers. Just like that, the class splits up to search for Teacher Rat. He proves his worth by joining Hita to meet thousands of rats, asking them to track the person. They'll use the dense network of rodents across Tokyo, making the search faster. Meanwhile, Mujina searches while playing around, and Akize finds it fun and joins in, leaving Oda frustrated. Odawara steps in to remind everyone not to get too carried away, but he's the one who ends up playing the hardest, buying all sorts of things. The girls' group spots this guy thinking he's hiding his face with a lantern and rushes over for photos. With his far-reaching vision spanning thousands of miles, Teacher Rat sees his friends fooling around and just shakes his head. Now, the four guys are up high, using the one-eyed youth's abilities to search easily. Maida, being a fish person, can grow legs, but still can't move, so Ray carries him. Yanagida has it tougher, turning himself into a flag just to keep up. Over at Utagawa's side, they're facing some awkward issues, with Yashiki running wild like a loose dog, dashing into game shops to buy stuff. So, they're scrambling to find a spot. Sano isn't faring better, having asked all the station staff but still no leads. Suddenly, two Dr. Takahashis appear to greet them, making it seem like he's a twin, but actually, the one beside him is Officer Yamazaki in disguise. They were classmates, so they're heading to visit an old friend for fun. Then, out of nowhere, Sano senses something ominous about Miki, who's wandered far away and accidentally breaks the charm string Sano once gave her. Luckily, someone picks it up, and surprisingly, it's Sano's brother. At first, Haruaki thinks it's a student coming to meet him, but no. That guy realizes this isn't the mischievous student who got lost before. Wait, how did he get lost again? What a wild twist. Haruaki doesn't recall who he is, but since he has ties to yokai, he invites him for a drink. At the cafe, they share their life stories. Teaching at Miki's yokai school was scary at first, but once he got used to it, it became a joy. About that charm, he calls it a real lifesaver, warding off disasters. If bad luck hits, it'll help you through. Haruaki needs to contact his students, but his phone's dead, so he leads the way to buy a portable charger. Suddenly, a little girl runs by, and the teacher accidentally knocks her over. As we know, this guy isn't fond of yokai, so he acts annoyed, saying she's a Zashiki Warashi, a yokai haunting this mall. Soon, trouble will strike here. He urges Haruaki to leave quickly. Later, they get the charger and plan to ask Miki if there's anyone in class with black hair like him, but the teacher wanders off to check out girls in uniforms. He gets scolded for it, with his friend asking if he wasn't taught to be polite. Just then, fire trucks blare past. As expected, the building where they were earlier is on fire, instantly. Haruaki rushes to see, worried about his sister. Sano's brother explains that the Zashiki Warashi sensed the fire coming. Miki remembers Giki from their class whenever she wears red. It's a sign of disaster, but she wears it normally without issues. The other guy knows yokai well, saying the flip side of Zashiki Warashi brings good fortune, and when she leaves a house, disaster hits the girl. Maybe she just subconsciously sensed the danger, not on purpose with the red outfit. No casualties yet, but with his Onmyoji skills, he detects the girl is still trapped inside, so he runs to save her. His friend knows what the teacher wants to do and tries to stop him, saying at most, it's just one yokai lost. If Haruaki goes in, he might die for real. This guy keeps badmouthing demons, claiming they don't belong in the human world anyway, so why care? Haruaki was scared and always ran before, but now he's changed, he won't be weak anymore. Plus, as the homeroom teacher of a bunch of little monsters, he can't just stand by and watch. For the future, That girl might become his student, no joke. That line shocks his friend, calling Mickey foolish. He thought Sano's brother admired him so much, but it's like this, making him feel sick. Stepping inside, Haruaki is lucky the fire hasn't spread far. Seeing the barrier the girl created, he tries to dispel it like he did before at Yoshiki's room. He succeeds, but to break the door, Haruaki rams his head into it, startling the girl. As they're about to escape, a huge explosion hits them. Mickey has spiritual protection, so she's fine, but he fears the girl is too young to handle it. To burst out, Haruaki uses the portable charger to call Sano for help. He quickly explains they're trapped by fire in the mall. Knowing Wind God and Thunder God are nearby, he begs them to make it rain, as he's about to be done for. But they're too far, so they need to get closer to use their powers. However, the ceiling collapses, cutting off the connection between them. To find the burning mall, they contact Teacher Rat to locate the homeroom teacher using the black smoke. Since they've left the tower, they split Upone group distracts the crowd so Maeda can turn back into a merman and fly up. That way they pinpoint the fire at Ginger. They plan to fly there to save him, but the aviation yokai stops them. Using yokai powers here is forbidden, so they're restrained and lectured. Sano hears this and has no choice but to run on foot. From here to Ginger, it takes 20 minutes. If only Yanagida were here, they'd make it. Sano suddenly thinks of a plan and dashes off, silently hoping the teacher can hold on a bit longer. Now Haruaki's head is busted, but he's still conscious. The girl is terrified, so he reassures her. It's okay. In the chaos, the charm Sano gave long ago activates, summoning a spirit boy to guide them out. Though confused, Haruaki follows to the escape route. The little Sano spirit bids farewell, as that's all it can do. He thanks him for keeping the charm safe all these years. Reaching the rooftop, they're safe, but Haruaki is exhausted from the smoke. Zashiki Warashi tries to pull him out, but he urges her to go first. She refuses and helps him regain his senses. Looking at the charm, he realizes the brother from earlier is the kid he once helped, so he silently thanks him for the rescue. Now saved by his student, the teacher pushes on to a smoke-free spot. The sky rains now, seeming like the charm's work, but no, Sano and the Wind God and Thunder God, brought by Yanagida, arrive to save them. Seeing the girl beside him, they understand why the homeroom teacher risked it all. Everyone leaves first, as the rain they made isn't enough for the whole building. Suddenly, a massive water surge from underground extinguishes the fire. It's the rats following Teacher Rat causing it, turning misfortune into a miracle, saving them all. Normally this couldn't happen. It's like being blessed by the fortune god. Hearing that, Sano thinks of his brother standing below. Min thanks Yanagida, learning he's the officer in disguise. Turns out, this guy's yokai skills are top-notch, copying almost any ability he transforms into. Earlier, Sano knew they were nearby drinking, so he went for help. With that, their Tokyo adventure ends with unforgettable memories, and Hyakki Academy enters summer break. Making everyone joyful, they've waited for this day forever, so they wish each other the best. The next day, everyone heads home to reunite with family. Hita lives in a peaceful countryside, even getting his ears cleaned by his sister. It's pure bliss, but really, she's practicing if she pokes her husband's eardrum by accident, it'd be disaster. The aunt calls her son to greet guests, as New has dropped by today. He jumps up quickly, not wanting misunderstandings. It seems every summer, he comes to this rural spot to experience life. This year, he'll stay at Yoshiki's inn next to Hita. Seeing his best friend wander off, he looks upset and suggests talking to the homeroom teacher for help. Nudu smirks, saying it won't change anything, but puts on a thoughtful face that looks so pitiful. This is totally different from the one-eyed youth at school. Luckily, not one but two kind friends are there to comfort him. Yoshiki, with free time, makes ice cream for them. Hita's is special for swamp demons, while the other two get regular strawberry. They wonder what their classmates are up to this summer. Nudu knows the giant Ota is playing volleyball with Akib. Hita tries his special ice cream and realizes it's full of mud, so he's annoyed. Sure, he's a swamp demon, but that doesn't mean he eats dirt. Who put that in? The scene shifts to Badger and Renju's family. Their mom, though small, boldly caught the dad's friend for fun, thinking it was a giant spider, but it's actually the girl's mom on a research trip. Insect catching isn't going anywhere, leaving them bored. Akiki fears getting beaten by his mom when he gets home. The little one says his dad went to Kyoto for fun, so mom's wrath will hit him instead. They ask why and learn he went to Mickey's red light district for wild parties. So, when he returns, he'll get smacked. Drunk, he doesn't recognize the sister beside him as teacher Mickey in disguise. The demon is furious, having to watch the kid at school and now serve the lecherous dad on break. When the guy goes to the bathroom, Mickey runs to his sister to complain, asking why he has to pretend to be a girl to entertain that old man when he never agreed to help at the shop. She brushes it off as for money, so just endure it. The demon is thrown out and told to squeeze money from Badger's dad, as his family is rich. Another in trouble is Hatanaka, feeling down and trying to call his best friend but no answer. His house is chaos with 3 wild kids, giving dad no peace. The happiest teacher must be our guy, with Sano visiting. As Principal Rain puts it, he acts uninterested but invites him in anyway. Haruaki wants to have fun with him this summer, so the principal plays matchmaker. Since the plague god lives alone, the aunt is delighted to have a guest. Remembering the Tokyo trip, she's worried but glad her son escaped unharmed. Hearing about M's injury in the fire, the family panicked and nearly fainted. So, she reminds him to be careful. He got lucky this time, but don't be so reckless. Ignoring yourself like that means betraying those who truly care. Know when to risk for others and stay safe so no one grieves. After the mom's pep talk, M agrees and apologizes for worrying her. The next day, Sano says he'll get a part-time job, not wanting to freeload forever. Hearing that, the homeroom teacher asks to join for the experience. Their destination is near Hyaki Academy, so they'll have an escort. Calling the special yokai taxi, Yanagida shows up. Suddenly, the other two feel uneasy. He says he's driving for summer pocket money. They can go anywhere in the country for just 500 yen. Another soul in turmoil is Hatanaka, feeling utterly lost and trying to call his closest buddy, only to get no response. His home has turned into chaos with 3 wild kids running amok, leaving no rest for the weary father. Amid all this, the happiest teacher has to be our plague god, thrilled because Sano is visiting today. As Principal Aim puts it, he acts unenthused, but since the guest is here, let's welcome him in warmly. Haruaki shared his wish for a fun summer break together, so the principal decided to play matchmaker. With the plague god living alone, his aunt beams with joy at having a visitor. Reflecting on that tense Tokyo trip, she's still worried, but thankfully her son escaped unharmed. When news hit about M's injury from the house fire, the whole family panicked, nearly fainting on the spot. So, they urge him to stay cautious and safe. This time, luck pulled you through, but don't rush into danger so recklessly. Ignoring your own safety like that means betraying those who truly care about you, Haruaki. You must know when to risk it all for others, and if you do, come back safely so no one is left in sorrow. After his mother's heartfelt advice, the plague god nods in agreement and apologizes for causing her worry. The next day, Sano announces he'll take on a part-time job, refusing to overstay as a burden. Hearing this, the homeroom teacher eagerly offers to join for the adventure. Their destination is near the 100 Demons Academy, so they'll have an escort. After calling the special taxi for spirits, Yanagida shows up right away, making the other two feel a bit uneasy. Yanagida casually mentions he's driving to earn some summer cash, offering trips anywhere in the country for just 500 yen. With his otherworldly speed, they'll reach the academy from here in about 5 minutes. The homeroom teacher feels the thrill turning terrifying, fearing a sudden end. But Yanagida reassures them that the seats are enchanted with magic, so no need to worry. In a flash, they're at the school. With no one around, Haruaki can freely do as he pleases. He heads to the bookstore where Sano works part-time to check it out. Though it's just a second-hand shop, the books here are incredibly diverse. The plague god's job is relaxed, simply sitting and tending the store. Besides him, another employee is Karasuma. They're both surprised to cross paths here. When Sano asks if they know each other, it turns out Karasuma is one of the 3 who once kidnapped Mauka for her feathers. Hearing this, the plague god feels a lingering grudge, as that incident with the Heavenly Dog Demon Gang still isn't settled. In general, this young man is living better now, just working part-time at the bookstore. Their shady deeds were mostly for fun. They even hand M a business card, saying to contact them anytime for some mischief. Haruaki is baffled, thinking he'll never use something like that. The teacher senses that Sano and Karasuma share a similar vibe, both acting cool and mysterious. He protests, claiming that guy is a secret otaku, not like him at all. The moment he spots the limited edition of Magical Girl series, this one goes wild. He can't believe a second-hand store has such a high-quality book. Haruaki, feeling bored, wanders around to see if there's anything worth buying. As he's unsure what to pick, he's suddenly drawn to one particular book. Another employee recommends it, saying it's amazing. Sadly, it's unfinished, so no one bothers with the sequel. He thinks it should be saved for the first reader to complete. Intrigued by the content, Haruaki opens it to take a look. Shockingly, everything inside mirrors the outside world. The teacher shouts, "Lightning strike," and instantly the sky erupts in a furious storm. Haruaki realizes the writer must have woven magic into it to interact with readers like him. There's something strange about the other two's bodies that he can't quite describe. As Sano tries to watch the rain, he notices the door has been disabled. Haruaki steps out to ask what's happening and learns that whatever's written in the book becomes real outside. He starts to panic, feeling like this is no different from a curse. After explaining it to the other two, Sano grabs him by the collar, threatening him for dragging them into this as main characters. And about that employee who recommended it earlier, it's actually the ghost of Karasuma. He reveals that besides them, there's no one else here. As described, no customers have shown up, so he's clearly haunting them. Haruaki wonders if this guy was a victim of the book in the past. With the door locked tight, it proves the homeroom teacher must keep reading until the end. The challenge is, they don't know what happens next, and the other two are now hostages of the book. It's dangerously unpredictable. As Min continues reading, the sky turns pitch black. They flip on the lights, and Karasuma drops dead, scaring them half to death. Turns out, it's all written in the book. Sano checks and confirms there's no pulse. To fix this, Min makes a change. Specifically, he alters the content to say it was all just his imagination. Thanks to that, the young man revives and trembles, exclaiming, "I was just forced to swim in a boiling cauldron. I almost met the king of hell." With the content changed, the story begins to shift. Sano suggests the teacher quickly write an ending, but the creator won't let them do that, forcing them to read on. The other two realize the only way is to use the teacher's imagination to craft a happy ending. The responsibility weighs heavy, but Min promises to give it his all. Suddenly, the novel reveals more people are arriving. Haruaki doesn't want to drag friends and family into this mess, so Karasuma suggests bringing in his buddy from the Ghost Dog gang. Bonmaru steps in, asking for rain, only to find a room full of familiar faces. The group apologizes and explains the crazy situation they're in. In short, right now, the whole crew decides to let the teacher rewrite the content before things spiral out of control. No sooner said than Karasuma pins Sano down hard. Bonmaru is totally baffled and yells for Min to rewrite it quick before this turns into a murder case. They press on with the reading and discover those two must kiss. Sano is stunned but can't fight it. His underling above is terrified, having guarded his purity for years, refusing to lose it to someone of the same gender. Thankfully, before their lips meet, Haruaki edits it to say it's just Bonmaru's wild imagination. Instantly, the grotesque images flood Bonmaru's mind, making him scream in agony. The Plague God and Ghost Dog gang are left utterly shaken. Suddenly, Min realizes he can change the main characters with his imagination so they don't have to suffer anymore. The epic battle between the novel and the yin-yang master begins. A meteor then crashes down, but Min writes that it's blasted away by Ota in giant form. Poisonous weeds start spreading everywhere, so Yanagida handles it. This guy specializes in potions, so any strange plants catch his eye. Next comes the locust disaster, but it's passed to Mauka and his insect-collecting friends. A out-of-control car causes chaos, yet it's tossed aside by Teacher Mickey. The yin-yang master's theory kicks in. A meteor falls, but Min writes that it's blasted away by Ota in his giant form. Poisonous weeds start sprouting everywhere, so Yanagida handles as an expert at brewing potions and collects any strange plants he sees. Next comes a locust plague, but it's passed to Mauka and her insect-collecting friends. The out-of-control car causing accidents is thrown off course by drunk Miki, in his tipsy state. Even the aliens that appear are dealt with by tossing them to Dr. Takahashi. The cursed book keeps throwing out events, only for them to be rewritten, until it's exhausted and can't function anymore. But it's not over yet. The story demands a final act. This time, the cursed book tries to suck everyone inside forever. Immediately, the three are controlled. Luckily, Haruaki quickly adds that before it can, it's destroyed by the yin-yang master's power. In an instant, he activates his spiritual energy and ends the battle by writing that the book's curse is lifted. Finally, they breathe a sigh of relief, realizing the ghost is the book's author, who died long ago. As they head back, they wonder why his spirit showed up today to tease them like this. Suddenly, they realize if it can make things real, why not ask for some benefits? Haruaki requests piles of uniforms. The Heavenly Dog Brothers want wealth, and to escape being single forever. Sano is exasperated with them. Thankfully, that wish doesn't come true, as the book's curse has already been broken. And that's the end.